Bonsoir tout le monde.
Good evening, everyone. It is 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. Before we adopt the agenda, are there any additions to the agenda? Yes, thank you, Deputy Warden. If you allow me, I would like to add to the agenda one correction to be made, and I would like to make also two small additions. The error is in number. If you look at item 8 correspondence, it should be 8.1, 8.2, but on the agenda it's 9.1, 9.2. So I would just want to note the correction. In terms of additions, if you allow again, under correspondence, I would like to add 8.3 Papa Noel of Clare 2025, and under closed session, I would like to add 12.2 question regarding staff. Does anybody else want to add? If not, we need a motion to adopt the agenda. Motion made by Councillor Hill and seconded by Conseiller Cooper. All those in favor? Against? Motion is carried. Any declaration of conflict of interest? There's nothing there. Under item 4, the presentation 4.1. Bruce Mans.
Hi, folks. Thanks so much for letting us join tonight. Excited to be able to chat through the project with you, give you a quick update on where we're at and what is coming up next and what you'll be seeing from us in the coming months. So, like introduced, my name is Devin Jennings-Lander. I'm a communications coordinator with Upland, and on the call as well, we have Bruce.
Hi, everyone. Bruce Mans, planner and partner here at Upland. Really excited to present this project to you, introduce ourselves, and also nice to be back in Clare after working on the public spaces projects a few years ago. So nice to see some familiar faces as well.
Amazing. All right. I'm going to go to the next slide. Just going to quickly sort of introduce the project. As you might be familiar, so Upland is working with the municipality to develop an active transportation plan. And the focus is really about making walking, biking, and rolling a safe, accessible, and convenient option for those who live and are visiting Clare for all ages and abilities. Some highlights for the plan objectives is we're looking to identify areas where active transportation infrastructure could improve walking, biking, and rolling. Looking to expand the network specifically around areas like schools, community spaces, your business and retail hubs. Trying to identify and fill gaps in the current network. We also want to look at educating community members on the benefits of active transportation and to get them to buy in on this project too. And then as part of the plan, we'll be developing an implementation strategy that includes both short, medium, and long-term actions that the municipality can work towards. We have at the bottom of the screen here sort of the process. So we've started back in September and October with the best practice and technical review. And we were down in Clare in September and October to do our first round of engagement. So this is where we were hearing from folks about how they're currently traveling, what challenges they experienced, and what they'd like to see in the future. We're now in the phase of developing the draft active transportation plan and network. So we should be hoping to get that wrapped up in the next few weeks. And then we'll be taking that draft plan out to the public again in February to do our second round of engagement. And that's checking with community members. Did we hear what you said correctly? Have we gotten the priorities right? Are there things that we need to adjust or change before we present it to you folks for finalization, aiming for March of this year? Next slide. So just a quick recap for our first round of engagement. We had project websites set up, both in English and French, using our engagement platform. This is where we posted information about the project, as well as our online engagement activities. We had an online survey, as well as an interactive map where folks could leave location-specific comments. We were also in person, hosted a pop-up event down your way in October, and hosted several stakeholder conversations in person while we were there. And we got to connect with students in the civics class to host a youth workshop and hear their perspective, which is always fun. There's some very cool ideas that came out of that workshop. Next slide is a couple points of just the highlights of what we heard. So we do have a full what we heard report, but just wanted to touch on some of the key takeaways that we'd heard. Top one was that walking is the most common form of active transportation for folks. Most respondents also feel at least somewhat safe when walking in Clare. There was a small portion of respondents that noted they feel safe biking or using other active modes. They commented that the narrow shoulders and high vehicle speeds and driver behaviors all affect their level of comfort. Next one has a few more points. Sidewalk and crosswalk improvements were top priorities. We heard this across our online and in-person participation. There's a strong desire for also safer and more connected cycling options. We know that you guys have a growing cycling community, especially with the Grand Fondo. So that we hear that coming through in the comments, again, online and in person. We also heard about a desire for more wayfinding improvements. People noted that it would make the network easier to use. Also looking for clearer and more frequent signage, maybe at trailheads, and also online, online resources so that people can look up their routes before they go, or if they're coming to visit, they can plan ahead. So this is just a very high level of what we heard from folks, and that's going to inform the next steps as we're developing the plan and when we come back to do our second round of engagement. So as I mentioned, we're currently working on developing the draft network and active transportation plan. Once that draft plan is complete, we'll be launching their second round of engagement. We'll be hosting again online and in-person activities. Excuse me. And from there, we'll be using the feedback that we hear to refine and finalize the plan and be coming back to you folks in March with the completed active transportation plan for your guys' input. So with a very quick run through of everything that we've been working on and what you'll be seeing from us next. If you have any questions, happy to answer them.
Thank you, Devin. Just a quick question. You alluded to the that sidewalks or the need for more sidewalks was a common theme. Just wondering, in terms of those comments for sidewalks, did they tend to be, I guess, those concentrated at a few key locations in the municipality, or were the comments apply basically throughout the entire municipality, or are we looking at one or two key locations that seem to stand out above others?
Yeah, most of the comments were focused along the coast and filling in the gaps from where sort of sidewalks end and kind of drop off. We also heard sort of around the school, around the grocery stores, where people are already walking but having to use the shoulder. So it would ideally be a phased approach, I think, to be connecting along that coastal route.
Any other questions? Or Conseiller DeVaux?
Merci, Monsieur le Sous-Préfet. I have a question, Carl DeVaux, Conseiller District 4. Right now for walking trails, we have a lot of people use like what we call the old railroad track. So officially we have one walking trail in Bellevue Cove. If we plan on having others like throughout Clare, or at least a few more, do you know if there's any grants available for work like that or not?
Bruce, I might let you take this one.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, of course there's grants available for things like that, especially if they can support economic development opportunities, which a link like that could very well do. It also helps as well if there's any linkages to schools. There's other funding sources available for enhancing connections for people getting to schools and making it safer as well. So in all of our reports, we'll have all the funding opportunities that are available, both from municipal all the way up to federal sources, and what sorts of things they're looking for and what potential projects they would be qualified for as part of this plan.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Councillor Evans?
Merci, Monsieur Sous-Préfet. Thank you so much, Devin and Bruce. I really appreciate the presentation and to see, what that initial phase brought us to. I was wondering, question around the desire for safer, more connected cycling options. Is that much like the sidewalks? Is it kind of along the shore road that people are looking for, or is it going kind of into trails and things like that to create that connectivity?
Admittedly, a lot of our feedback was very focused along that coastal road for sure. Bruce, I don't know if you can speak to it. Like there were some offshoots inland a little bit, but very focused on the coastal route.
Yeah, from what I recall, they were quite focused along Trunk 1, and with an emphasis on improving the shoulder conditions along Trunk 1 as well. There's several areas throughout the road where conditions are really, really good. However, there are a few areas where the paved shoulders are quite narrow, and some of the roads are crumbling a little bit on the margins as well. So, and then there's some blind crests and tight corners in certain areas that can cause some pretty unsafe conditions for cyclists. So I would have to double check where exactly the comments were that we got them, but that was the general consensus. And also when we were looking at conditions from just a technical point of view, it was something we noted as well. So something we would want to address in this active transportation plan.
Anyone else?
Especially with the Grand Fondo opportunities and how well that's used for the Grand Fondo. So there could be some other advantages there. All right.
Any other questions? Anybody? If not, do you guys have any more comments you want to make? Or
No, I think for us, this is just the update. We'll be obviously working with the team to get the plan drafted and get back out to committee members, and excited to hear what they have to say.
well, we thank you very much for your presentation, and we'll be seeing you guys soon.
Sounds great. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone. And if you have any other feedback too in the meantime, feel free to reach out at any time. We're always happy to hear more comments as we're working on this. So thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Number 5, adoption of minutes. 5.1, the December 17th regular council meeting. Did you have a chance to read it? Questions or comments on this report? If not, we need a motion to approve the minutes of the December 17th meeting. Motion done by Councillor Evans and seconded by Councillor Como. All those in favor? Against? Motion carried. 5.2, the January 7th council and committee meeting. Questions or comments on this report? If not, motion done by Councillor Hill and seconded by Councillor Como. All those in favor? Against? Motion carried. Business arising from previous council meetings, we don't have anything. 7, do you have official statements from members of council? Does anybody have something to add? Councillor Cooper. Yes, thank you. At the beginning of January, the Franco Press Committee, which is done on Franco-Canadian news, they said the 10 personalities, the more influence in the Francophone in Canada. And again, they said we have somebody from this community that was chosen. It's Madame Suzanne Saunier. Just for your information, Susan had just took her retirement from the CSAP. She was a direction since 1992. She's been working there for a couple of decades for young people for 2 decades. So it's very important for her and for us that her work has been recognized. I want to congratulate her and offer. Do you think that we could send her a thank you letter? We need a motion to send the congratulations letter from council. Motion done by Councillor Cooper and seconded by Councillor DeVoe. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. Does anybody have anything else to present? I would have one. On 24th December, Clare share with Shane Robbie show, they did there was more than 50 volunteers that participated in this lunch, and they worked very hard, and they did more than 800 meals. Some went there, some were delivered, and the rest of those that were left, they put some in the Clare fridge. I think they did an exceptional work, and I think they should be sent a thank you letter. So I also would need a motion for this. Motion done by Conseiller Como and seconded by Conseiller DeVoe. Como rather. 8.1. The Honourable Kim Maslin, Minister of Emergency Management. That was a nice program. I think the community really profited from this. Are there any questions or comments on this item? If not, we will go to 8.2, Alvina Leblanc, Project Manager for the Société Historique Acadienne de la Baie. We have the pleasure to announce that we have received the last funds for the project of Guatemala. We can reimburse you for the amount of $13,366 that you had given to us in July 2025. The realization of this project gave us a lot of satisfaction. It took us a long time, but we're convinced that the result justifies all the efforts that we have put in. We would like to express our profound gratitude for the municipality for applying us financially, and we would like to also thank Larry Peach for his contribution during those last few years. This is Alvina Leblanc from the Société Historique Acadienne de la Baie. Questions or comments on this letter? If not,
We'll go on to next item, letter from Christmas Daddies. Dear staff, councillor, I want to thank you for your generous donation to the Christmas Daddies of Clare. The 41st were a huge success, and we could contribute to the families of Clare who are in need. The Christmas gifts filled with toys is very heartwarming. Thank you very much. That's another group who does a lot of good for our community. Any questions or comments on this? If not, we will go on to item 9, the General Manager's Report, CEO. For our projects in course for the Clare Health Center, we are still working on a few problems that are remaining. We should have that done by the end of the month. On June 20th, January 20th, we had 113 people who needed to be placed with doctors, but we contacted 20 to place them with doctors. The other 93 will be contacted shortly. We still have the capacity to accommodate new patients. For the Veterans Building in Sonyville, the mill works in the studio is complete. All the baseboards and the floor for the dance. The acoustic treatments have been ordered. We should receive them next week, which is January 26th, but the installation should start the week after, or the first week in February, and will take about 2 weeks. That's if everything works. By that time, the center will be closed to the public. The new walk-in freezer, the replacement is complete. We went through with the architect the final walkthrough, and we discovered a few minor deficiencies, but these will be completed by the end of January. As I mentioned in my last report, the official opening of the Veterans Center is scheduled for February 17, 2026. For our land use and municipal planning strategy, we received the revised documents from Stantec today and will be distributed or available to the public later this week. We had a consultation with the private sector on December 18th, and the information that came from this meeting helped to inform for this last version of the plan, so it was a good thing. The last public consultation was scheduled for February 2026. We will meet with Stantec virtually tomorrow to look at the follow-up. And I think by the second week of February, it will give the chance to the public of Clare to read the documents 3 weeks before the consultation. As I said, the intention would be to proceed with the first reading in the 1st of February and then the second in March. For the Clare Acadian Tourism Initiative 2025-27, there are several elements. The goal is to develop a new program, but also to look at establishing projects and products and experiences to improve what we have now. So at the Expo Cultural, the Cultural Expo last summer, it is the Clare Acadian Festival who will take care of this project. And the municipality will remain as a partner, and the staff will be involved in the program, but they will help them in all the question of finding financing for the project. So we are looking at a clam festival for June the 12th to the 14th. The discussions are in place with different people, organizations, to discuss the details about this festival, what its scope will be, and what we are looking in terms of activities. So we are having discussions with the private sector about this. There is a meeting with a few members of the public sector that will take place later this week. Denise Saunier Design was hired. We went through a process to hire Denise Saunier to have interpretation to our the parking at the Bourneuf Road, where the people are often going for clams. So we are having a little interpretation there, and Denise will do that for us. And the funds for this had been included in the project, and the funding for the project. On February 24th, 25th, the municipality will be collaborating with Alain Basset, the Celtic chef, and Jonathan Forster of GMIST, the Gros Morne Institute in Newfoundland, to offer a session on experimental tourism here in Clare. From there will be some mentoring projects with different people in the area. And the people will be able to register for this session as of next week. We are meeting shortly with the old museum in Meteghan to discuss experimental tourism for the next year, 2026, through this same project. And we are also supporting different projects from the Arts Council of the Bay, the Art Ventures Studio Tours, the painting outdoors, and activities during the Clam Festival. Finally, another example of the activities, we are working with Danielle Leblanc to set up a comedy spectacle for 2 days here in Clare. So there are other initiatives that are being explored, but as I said earlier, it's to build on what we have, but also to diversify and offer new products. For our building here, the equipment storage building being built, as you can see, it's not going very fast, unfortunately, but we are working with the contractor. We spoke with them earlier this week to underline the importance of going forward with this project. So we hope to see the work restarting shortly. For the washroom at the Marie Dugas building at Anse de Bellevaux, again, it's not going very fast. We asked a meeting with the contractor, and we confirmed today that the meeting will be held Friday morning on the site. And we also informed the contractor that the subcontractor who was on the job is now no longer on the job. So we want to have a serious discussion regarding this project. For the housing development projects in Littlebrook, as you can see, there are 7 houses that are there now that are rented. The 8th house is almost complete. It will be completed and installed on this site within 3-4 weeks. So it'll be the end of the first phase of the project. The installation of the second phase for the septic on the site is being done presently. If you go there, you'll see the activity going on. But talking with the developer in the next 12 months, the goal is to add another 12 houses on this site, and they are confident that it will be done for a total on the site at phase 2 at 20 houses, 20 units. So there's also a third phase, and this project is still going forward, and the request is there for the buildings for the Meteghan housing development with the same developer. 4 slabs have been printed and 1 has been poured, and the remaining 3 will be poured when weather permits. The goal for the next year is to have 4 units on the site by the end of the year. Finally, for our financial, as of December 31st, 2025, municipality recorded $13,480,700 in revenue versus $10,768,015 in expenses for a surplus, operational surplus of $2,712,685. As of December 31st, the municipality had the balance of $4,209,193 in its operating fund, $363,255 in its capital fund, and a total reserve balance of $1,373,929. this figure is a bit low, but it is around the end of the year, so we are cashing in a lot of projects. We had submissions to different suppliers for about $2 million that we are expecting to receive. And we expect to receive them by the end of March 2026. Finally, for the under financing, for your information, the work on our operating reserve and capital reserve for 26-27 is being done now. It is the intention to present the operating budget to council for your approval at our meeting of April 15th. So that is our report.
Thank you for your report. Are there questions or comments on this report? Councillor DeVoe? Thank you. Just a comment, which is here, you mentioned the Veteran Center in Clare. I'd like to announce that this evening, the Association of Veterans of Clare had their first meeting at the new center. I spoke to the president yesterday, and they're very glad to be able to start their meetings at that center. Other questions or comments? If not, we will go to number 10, committee reports. There's nothing. Number 0, new business. 11, motion to enact the emergency management bylaw, first reading. Before we proceed, there are 2 bylaws that will be discussed this evening. Just to give you a bit of context, the bylaw committee met on January 3rd to look at specifically these 2 bylaws, to make a revision and the recommendation to bring to council this evening. During the meeting, we also looked at to try to fix a plan to look our activities in the next few months. So we want to look at the bylaws that we have now and identify what are the priorities for to see what we can revise or modernize what we have, so that we can and also to see if we have to get new bylaws that we don't have now. It's just a few comments on this. The first motion you have this evening, 11.2, is to enact the emergency management bylaw. They're working in collaboration with the municipality of Digby and the town of Digby to form a regional emergency plan, which is something that has been asked by the province. Before that, the municipality of Clare and many other municipalities had their own municipality management organizations. This is not permitted anymore, so the province has that we are part of an EMO, a regional EMO. So for us to join with the town of municipality of Digby, it allows us to put up an organization that will look at all of the Digby County in emergency cases. There's quite a few stages to set this up, and it's going ahead very well. One of the key components, now that we have signed the inter-municipal agreement, is to put in place a bylaw for the management of the management bylaw. The content of this bylaw looks a lot what is including the inter-municipal. There's nothing that's new. But I can tell you that the municipality of Digby and the town of Digby are also looking at they're also gonna adopt this bylaw. When these bylaws are passed, from there on it is be sent to the minister for the signature of the minister, and once it's signed by the minister, it becomes law. So it gives us one step forward for the recommendation tonight. I will read that of the bylaw committee. We're doing a motion this evening to essentially adopt the bylaw for the emergency management bylaw. And for the first reading, are there any questions or comments on this? If not, we need a motion to the bylaw, Councillor Deveau. I'd like to make the motion. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare approve the first reading of the Emergency Management Bylaw, and that the bylaw be read for the first time by title only. Just to make it official, when you finish the motion, we should read the adoption, the official title of the motion. No mics. So that would be the motion itself. Okay, so they have to mention the title.
Emergency.
By the council on the question, on the questions, emergency management. The title should be there. Councillor Hill, motion carried. Motion to amend the repeal the bylaw, the first reading. Presently, to revocate this one, this is essentially to end bylaws in the municipality that are no longer applicable, and that apply to our context. So the municipality had some bylaws, but there was nothing in it that identify the bylaws that we wanted to essentially eliminate because they're no longer relevant. At the meeting of the bylaw committee, we started looking at some of the bylaws that we have now, and there are quite a few of them that require revisions, but there are 5 of them that we identified that are not useful for us anymore. They have either been replaced by policies rather than bylaws, so they don't apply to the actual context of the municipality. The 5 that we propose in this is the bylaw number 4, payment of councillors. The reason this one is included since the bylaw was replaced by a more modern policy that's in the number 5, also the destruction of certain documents. This has been replaced with a policy also. The reason we charge that this an operational decision that could be taken by the employees, and we didn't see the need to present this to council every time we wanted to destroy a document. Bylaw number 19, normal billing. There also is something that's being already done. If you look at the language in that bylaw was very much dated, so it's not necessary. The bylaw number 22, Recreation Committee. The Recreation Committee has been abolished in 2015, 2016 when the municipality ended its organization, and the committee as such, the bylaw that touched this committee has never been eliminated. And finally, the bylaw number 29, improvement and takeover of private roads. This is something that had been discussed a few years ago by council, and the intention at the time was essentially to get rid of that bylaw. So the repealed bylaw, as it is presented this evening, will allow us to get rid of these 5 bylaws, and maybe there will be more in the next future, but this is the ones we are proposing this evening. Are there questions or comments on this one? If not, we need a motion. I move that the Council of the Municipality of the District of Clare approve the first reading of the proposed amendment to the repeal bylaw, and that the amended bylaw be read for the first time by the title only, which is the
Removal.
repeal bylaw.
Motion carried. 11.3, motion to approve a municipal tax write-up, assessment account number 01540084. Thank you. We have a business in Clare who has been completely destroyed during the holidays. As we do usually in a case like this, we want to revise the amount of taxes to reflect the value of the loss in the community. The commerce in question had paid their taxes for the year based on the whole value of the property. As I said, on December 13th, the property completely burned, so it's a big loss in the value. We contacted PVSC, Property Evaluation Services Corporation, to inform them of the fire and to ask a reevaluation of the property, considering the value of the property. So we made an adjustment to the taxes. We are not talking about a write-off in this case because the business had paid their taxes in full, and we are talking about a reimbursement. According to our estimates, it is a reimbursement of $938.80 to reflect the new value of the property after the loss. Any questions or comments on this? If not, we need a motion. Councillor Hill.
The Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare refund a prorated tax rate of $938.80 to the assessment account number 015400084 following damage sustained to said property because of a fire on December 13th, 2025.
Any seconder? Councillor Evans, all those in favor? Against? Motion carried. 11.4, a motion to appoint a special constable, Alex McLean, as the agent. Thank you. Alex McLean was hired by the municipality as a bylaw enforcement officer. Normally what we do with this position is we also make a request to the Department of Justice of Nova Scotia to name that employee as a special agent, a special constable. In the case of Mr. McLean, we have not started the process yet, but to do this, we need a motion from council that I can send to the Justice Department with the other forms so that they consider his nomination. With the background of Mr. McLean, I do not see any problem, but there is a process to follow, and it starts with the motion from council. So I want to ask you to make the motion this evening if you agree. Any questions on this? If not, we need a motion to make someone to make the motion. Councillor Cooper. I move that the Council for the Municipality of District of Clare make an application to the Department of Justice for the appointment of Alex McLean as Special Constable under the Nova Scotia Police Act for the enforcement of municipal bylaws. Anybody wish to second that? Councillor DeVoe, all those in favor? Against? Motion carried. 11.5, a motion to send a letter, Paul Laflèche, Executive Deputy Minister and Deputy Minister for Nova Scotia Public Works and Municipal Affairs. Thank you, Mr. Warden. Mr. Paul Laflèche is the Deputy Minister of Public Works and Municipal Affairs, received the prize from the Lieutenant Governor for Excellence in 225. He has a career that has been going for over 25 years here in Nova Scotia and at the federal level. I think he works closely with the municipalities. He helps the municipalities a lot with different projects. He gives a lot of counsels to. He gave a lot of help to the municipality of Clare. He was a friend and helped us in the past. And he likes that we speak to him in French. And his knowledge have guided us quite a bit on certain key projects in the municipality. So considering all the contributions from Mr. Laflèche, not only to the public service who benefited from it, as well as municipality of Clare and other municipalities in Nova Scotia, I think it's good to have the Council of Clare to congratulate him with a letter in French for his excellence in public service administration. Any question or comments? If not, we need a motion to send the letter. Conseillère Cooper. I move that the Council for the Municipality of District of Clare send a letter to Mr. Paul Laflèche, Executive Deputy Minister and Deputy Minister of Public Works and Municipal Affairs, congratulating him for being honored with the 2025 Lieutenant Governor's Award for Excellence in Public Administration. Seconded by Conseillère Comeau. All those in favor? A motion carried. 11.6. Motion to enter a service agreement with SPCA Nova Scotia. We had a contract in the past with SPCA when it came to the management of our municipal bylaw regarding dogs. The contract has ended earlier this summer, and we operated a few months without any contract. Since during this period, we are in negotiation with SPCA to have a new contract in place, but there were 2 or 3 months that we were without a contract, and it brought confusion. So I want to say that we have arrived with a contract that I find that meets our needs. It is a lodging. It is a lodging and guarding for animals that will bring a clarification of the roles when it comes to the time of imposing the bylaws. So we think it is key to the new contract. The terms that we wanted in the new contract in our negotiation with SPCA have been added, and I think we are in a good position to sign finally and put this contract in place. If something happens in the future, for any reason that we hope to leave the contract, or that we are not happy with the service and end the contract, we only need to give them a 3-month notice. So to contract in place today will help us. If for any reason we want to leave it, we have means to do it. So that being said, for the operational aspect, for service to the public, I think that it allows us to offer a better service. So my recommendation would be that we sign the contract with SPCA, but to do that, we need a motion from council. So with your approval, that's how I would like to proceed. Question or comment on the contract? If not, we need someone to make the motion. Conseillère Comeau. Thank you, Mr. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare enter a 3-year service offering for kenneling sheltering agreement with the Nova Scotia SPCA. Anybody wish to second this? Conseillère Evans, all those in favor? Against? Motion carried. 11.7, motion to approve a funding request, a renovation project for the rink at University St. Anne. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Warden. We have a request for financing from University St. Anne to have a piece of equipment replaced at the rink. It is a condenser. It is about $130. It's part of the refrigeration system, but it is $130,000 plus HST. The university is asking the province under the Rink Revitalization Fund, an annual project. They asked that program last year with the support of the municipality of Clare. We had contributed $50,000 last year, and it was well received by the province and approved. We are looking at a new submission. The project will be held probably next year, but to make a request, we need to do it this year because it closes in February. So we need to make the request now. The $50,000 in question is part of next year's operating budget. So we want to make the request now and to be able to do the work in the spring. Again, when I talk about the sportive infrastructure at St. Anne's, it supports not only the students at St. Anne's, but also the whole community of Clare. Projects like this is a lot of money, of course, but it is a lot less expensive than it would be if we had our own pool or our own rink. And this is $50,000 that helps us to be a partner to improve and extend the life of the rink and sports facilities on campus. It is not an expense for me, it is an investment. So if you agree, I want you to make a motion this evening.
Questions or comments on this item? If not, is somebody ready to do the motion? Councillor Evans, thank you. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare approve a contribution of $50,000 to Université St. Anne in support of its rink renovation project, specifically the purchase and installation of a new condenser. Somebody seconded by Councillor Cooper. All those in favor? Again, motion carried. Number 10. Closed session 12.1 is contractual negotiations, and 12.2 is a question regarding the staff. Before we go in closed session, the date and the meeting of the next regular meeting will be Wednesday, February 28, 2026 at 7 o'clock. We need a motion to go in closed session. Councillor Hummel and Evans, all those in favor? Good evening, everybody.
No.